How on earth do private hospitals possibly survive today's intense market pressures and rapid environmental changes? Between digital transformation, patient empowerment, and global competition, the terrain is literally shifting faster than ever before. Welcome to this explainer. I am thrilled you're here because today we're unpacking a fascinating piece of research that answers exactly how healthcare organizations can adapt and actually thrive in all this chaos.
Okay, let's dive right in, starting with a pretty stark reality. Private hospitals can no longer rely solely on traditional clinical excellence. Let that sink in for a second. For decades, right, having the best doctors and the safest procedures was the ultimate competitive advantage. But today, that's really just the baseline. Clinical excellence gets you in the game, but it absolutely does not guarantee you're going to win.
So, if clinical excellence isn't enough anymore, what is? Well, the researchers have mapped out this remarkable cause and effect blueprint that transforms internal human capabilities directly into bottom-line performance. We're going to look at the exact mechanisms that take an organization from merely surviving to absolutely dominating.
Here is our roadmap for today. 1. Surviving the healthcare landscape. 2. Leadership and market focus. 3. The engine of innovation. 4. The competitive catalyst. 5. Driving business performance. And 6. Strategic takeaways for executives.
Starting with Part 1, Surviving the Healthcare Landscape.
Think of this conceptual blueprint as a high-performance vehicle. In this model, transformational leadership is the driver behind the wheel. Market orientation is the navigation system reading the road ahead. Innovation excellence is the engine powering the vehicle. Business performance is the speed and distance you achieve. And industry competition? Well, that's the turbulent terrain you are driving on. It's essentially the dynamic capabilities theory, which is the science of adapting rapidly to survive, applied directly to healthcare.
And we know this vehicle actually runs because of some incredibly rigorous data. The researchers didn't just guess here, they went out and collected primary data from 210 healthcare executives and deputy executives across private hospitals in Thailand, using a highly advanced statistical method called PLS-SEM, or partial least squares structural equation modeling for the data nerds out there. They stress-tested every single connection in that blueprint.
Moving to Section 2, Leadership and Market Focus.
It all starts right here, with transformational leadership. We are talking about your average managers who just check boxes and approve budgets. No way. We're talking about leaders who demonstrate idealized influence, inspirational motivation, and intellectual stimulation. They inspire their teams to transcend their own personal interests for a massive collective vision. They create an organizational climate that is absolutely ripe for learning and creativity.
But hey, even the best driver needs to know where they're going, right? Which brings us to the navigation system, market orientation. This is the organization's capability to systematically sense and respond to what patients actually need while keeping a really sharp eye on what competitors are doing. It's about being fundamentally patient-centric and externally aware, rather than getting bogged down by being internally focused and bureaucratic.
So here's how this builds step by step. Step 1, the transformational leader articulates a bold vision. Step 2, a market-oriented culture actively senses shifting patient needs. And Step 3, that knowledge is translated directly into strategic action. The data proves that transformational leadership has a massive, direct positive influence on market orientation. Basically, the leader acts as the catalyst, pushing the entire hospital to become completely obsessed with customer-centric thinking.
Let's look at Section 3, the engine of innovation.
So the crucial point here is understanding what the engine actually is. Innovation excellence isn't just, buying some flashy new medical equipment. It's the continuous generation of new processes and service models. Think about the rapid deployment of digital health platforms, remote care systems, or online patient monitoring. It's literally anything that creates superior patient value.
And the research data definitively proves that both the driver and the navigation system are essential to fuel this engine. Transformational leadership directly boosts innovation because it encourages risk-taking and experimentation. Market orientation directly boosts innovation because it ensures those new ideas actually solve real-world patient problems. Plus, market orientation acts as a bridge, mediating the leadership's vision into tangible, innovative services.
On to Part 4. The competitive catalyst.
Now consider the moderating multiplier effect of industry competition. In a low competition environment, being innovative is nice. It gives you a decent baseline advantage.
But in a high competition environment, which, let's be honest, is the reality for almost every private hospital today, innovation transforms from a nice-to-have into an absolute strategic necessity for survival. The researchers found that when market pressure is high, the financial and operational benefits yielded from innovation become significantly more pronounced. Competition is the catalyst that forces the engine to run at maximum efficiency.
Which brings us to Section 5, Driving Business Performance.
The structural model results fully confirm all of the proposed hypotheses. The concepts flow powerfully from leadership and market orientation, funneling directly through innovation excellence, and ultimately pointing straight to business performance. Innovation is the critical mediating mechanism here. Without that innovation engine, leadership and market knowledge really struggle to hit the bottom line.
Let me translate the complex math of that model into a number you are not going to forget anytime soon, 85.2%. In the research world, finding a number that high is literally like finding a unicorn. It means this specific combination, transformational leadership, market orientation, and innovation excellence, explains a massive 85.2% of the variance in a hospital's overall business performance. That is an incredibly high level of explanatory power. It tells us that this isn't just a fun theory. This is the definitive formula for success.
Finally, Section 6, Strategic Takeaways for Executives.
So, what's the game plan? Here are the highly actionable managerial recommendations straight from the data. First, hospitals must actively develop transformational leadership competencies. You need to train leaders to inspire and stimulate creativity, not just manage the day-to-day budgets. Second, foster a proactive, patient-centric market orientation by systematically collecting and actually acting on patient feedback and competitor movements. Third, position innovation as a core strategy. It cannot just be a side project. Set up dedicated innovation units for digital health and process improvements. And finally, manage competition strategically. Use your innovations to create clear, undeniable differentiation in a crowded market.
The evidence is crystal clear. In the modern healthcare landscape, you simply cannot just rely on standard clinical care. You need the right driver, the right navigation, and a really powerful engine. So I'm going to leave you with this provocative thought. Look at your own organization right now. Are you driving market innovation, or are you just reacting to it? Because if you aren't the one driving, someone else is already pulling ahead. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep learning.